You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Union 0430. This is episode 176. We've got Jay Peterson coming to us from, and dare I say, one of the biggest names that is just climbing and everywhere right now, the Dirty Duck Coffee Company. Dude, I'm telling you, so Jeff Coates, who you guys do a blend, do a flavor of coffee with, he was telling me about you guys, and I started looking at, first off, your swag is unbelievable. Fucking love everything that you guys are making. I'm super excited because we've got Jay on here, and if you've been following our social media, you'll know that Dirty Duck is sending up a ton of coffee to us. We're going to give some out during the refuge, and of course, there's some for you to be able to purchase and take back home too. So anyways, that's our introduction. Philly's coming to us all the way from Port Perry, Ontario. I'm just outside Kingston, Ontario, and Jay is coming to us from Kansas City, Missouri. Dude, I did not. So first off, I was a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I was.
Yeah.
I was
rigged
until just this year, and I just can't, man. But I tell you what, there's a reason why Mahomes is considered the best, because that dude just pulled that. Like it was amazing. Me and my son were watching it, and he was like, That's it, man. That's Patrick Mahomes. Like, you can't count him out. He's going to come true every time.
Yeah, the guy's just a winner. I mean,
yeah,
that's what it comes down to. He just has a will to win, and he's the Michael Jordan of our era right now in football. So
I think so.
You know,
I think so, man. Crazy good game to watch, which is awesome, because there's been so many years where the Super Bowl has been such a lopsided game. And this was one of the great ones. I wish they would have had a better
Taylor Swift one. No one cares. Anyways.
I wish they would have had a
last
better
two were good.
Yeah.
Last
I
two
wish
were
they
good
would have
ones.
had a better halftime show, but you know, it is what it is, right?
That's always the case.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
well,
what's that?
Back to the coffee, more importantly.
Yeah, let's get back to
Well,
the coffee.
I'll let you know. I poured a crownie for you guys. I've got the crown going.
God bless you.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about whiskey, and I've started to really get a taste for bourbon, and I'm really enjoying bourbon whiskey. And then someone's it's awesome. And then somebody had said to me, "Well, you're not drinking rye?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll drink some rye whiskey every once in a while." I said, "But if I do drink rye, it's always Crown Royal." And
absolutely.
And then somebody looked
that's
at
a staple.
me. Yeah,
at the up at the Dirty Duck in Mountain City, Missouri, where Dirty Duck Lodge is. That's you always got to handle a crown there. So
that's awesome. Well, and the person said to me, they were like, "Really, Crown Royal?" I said, "You know what? Canadians take Crown Royal for granted. I really do believe that." Phil, would you say so?
It's not my first choice.
No,
obviously, not obviously. Like it's the big name, right?
Yeah, but it's a rye. But for a rye whiskey, like what would you drink beside a rye?
Well, if I'm going like a whiskey sort of thing, like I'm probably 40 Creek. Now I do divulge in the or not divulge.
Dive into, I don't know.
Dive
whatever.
into indulge. I do indulge in the Crown Black once in a while.
Yeah, I'm not a black fan.
Thanks to Mr. Coates.
Yeah, that's his favorite.
That's his favorite.
It's not bad. Like I like my 40 Creek, but I've been like on the bourbon kick too, and
I've been really loving some good bourbon.
It was funny because having Mr. J on from Dirty Duck, when we went to Habitat Flats. I'm sure, Jay, you probably know Brian Rushton.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a very loyal supporter.
He is. He's a great
He
guy.
tried to figure out how the fuck we could get to your place on our trip. Like he was trying to figure it out. Like, can we figure this out?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not super close, but it's just far enough, but not close enough to just swing by the Dirty Duck. And
yeah, because well, I guess Kansas is on the very west edge, right?
So if you go all the way through Kansas City, Missouri, yeah, you'll end up in the state of Kansas. Yeah.
Yeah, because like we were at Habitat Flats, which would have been like to the west, sorry, to the east of where you guys are. I'm just looking up the old Google Maps here.
Yeah.
St. Louis. Yeah, we
kind of hour and 20 minutes kind of northeast of Kansas City, and then a little bit southwest of Mountain City, Missouri, where the Dirty Duck is.
Yeah, so like he was like trying to figure out like could we factor this in and sneak over to Kansas, but I'm like, yeah, it's too far out of the way. And by the time we'd actually gotten down and we were like, because we stopped in Columbia to hit the Bass Pro or Cabela's that was there, and did some shopping, and just a hop, skip.
Original. You didn't go to the original?
No.
And
then we scooted over to Tony's place, and because we were allowed to be there for 4 o'clock. So
nice.
Well,
if we had more time, Brian was dead set. we gotta go get coffee.
Well, I thought I was actually going to get through a podcast tonight without having to listen to Phil bring up his trip to Habitat Flats, but here we are once again talking about Habitat Flats.
What are you gonna do? Fire me?
No, good point. Jay, you bring up something because you brought up something, and I wanted you to explain it because I didn't know, and just reading your social media and your internet and your website, and it says like 1887, the Dirty Duck was built, and I didn't know what the Dirty Duck was, but it's a lodge, is it?
Yeah, so it's my partner Buck. It's his personal lodge. So he took a downtown Main Street building in Mound City, Missouri, which is a small town, middle of America type place that you would think of a classic downtown area, and it was all run down, and he was actually leasing out a building 2 doors down that we called the Musty Duck because it smelled so bad.
Yeah.
And so then he buys the Dirty Duck, and it was all run down, floorboards, you step through them, and someone just kind of joking around and said, "What are you going to nickname this one? The Dirty Duck?" And it just kind of stuck. And so they put a lot of, elbow grease, his family and folks there to restore it. And it's now like the main area. When you walk in, it's like walking into an old bar. They redid all the floors, and there's, mounts and bar lights and everything, and shuffleboard, bar top table, all that good stuff. Big buck hunter game. And so it's his personal honky tonk whenever he's in town for duck season and back up from Texas. And then he's got his sleeping quarters above it. So it's a studio apartment up above. And
that's amazing.
So it's a nice little place that, nicknamed the Dirty Duck. And that's where it all kind of started. He was doing some hats and hoodies just to give out to friends and family whenever they come, visit and leave with a souvenir, and made the logo for the building. And then somebody said that, I think it was his uncle, was downtown in Kansas City one day, and someone said, "Hey, I'll give you $40 for that hat that he had on. It's a Dirty Duck hat." And so that kind of prompted it. And then COVID hit, and we were both shut down from our traditional businesses, and said, "Hey, what about coffee for like a staple product around the Dirty Duck and really blowing out the brand?" And I was like, "Sure, let's do it, man. Let's do nothing else is going on right now while we're slowing the curve." So we just got to work and started building the brand, and here we are 3.5 years later.
Wow. And like, I'm not joking when I say, and this isn't blowing smoke up your ass or nothing like that, but like, you guys are on a very fast upward trajectory right now, right? Like, you guys are everywhere, and you're doing it the right way, right? Like, you're going to NWTF, you're doing all the shows, you're on social media, you've got stuff on the go. Like I said, your swag is unbelievable, and
appreciate that.
Yeah, so I can't wait until my package arrives so I can rip into it and see what I'm going to buy for myself, because and I should have, before you sent it, I should have got you to send me that rope hat. I'm in the duck stuff, because that one, that's the tits. I absolutely love it. And
Yeah,
I
we still
get,
got time, man.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you might get another package.
yeah.
What you do need to send up is K cups, because I will buy a piss ton of those.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Yeah, we can get,
I'll
I
get a
can get,
second. I'll get a second delivery going up to you guys.
we'll get
Yeah,
some,
because
Philly.
I'm like a peasant. I don't have like this coffee making K cups. Put the thing in, just
Yeah,
push the
they're
button.
easy.
Yeah,
Okay. K-cups. They're bad
yeah.
for the environment, Phil. They're bad for the environment. No, I use them
You know
too,
what?
but I
So are
do
private
like,
jets, but that's not stopping the environmentalists from flying around in them. So,
yeah, no
Paper
friggin' day.
straws. Paper straws will cure all.
yep.
Um, you know, we've gotten into the show so far and already, and I haven't taken a chance to thank our sponsors of First Light, Real Geese, and Ducklander calls. But again, I and I don't want to make it sound like I'm not thankful for them, because I am. They're awesome, and they've been with us ever since we've started, really. But Jeff Coates, who I'll say again is the voice of the Union 0430, it was Jeff that sort of, well, not sort of, was really the one that introduced me to you guys and was like, "Hey man, you need to check these guys out, because they're going to be, it's going to be a big deal." And then I seen the Pit Boss, um I
And
guess
dark.
roast,
Yeah.
the pit boss roast, and I was like, oh man, this is crazy. And then, I messaged Jeff one day, and I was like, hey man, do you mind if I name drop you? I'm gonna send a message to the guys at Dirty Duck and just tell them what I'm doing up here at the trade show, and maybe get some coffee and be able to pass it around. He was like, no man, he said, you go ahead, you drop my name and see. So when I reached out to you, Jay, like, buddy, I can tell the reason why you guys are doing so well is your customer service is, to me at least, and I know Rushton speaks really well. Um, like, your customer service is top notch, and when I'm reading your about us portion on your website, and there was one thing that really grabbed me, and it was, coffee is just not a pick me up, it's a catalyst for conversation. And that really, really stuck to me, because first off, it's very true, but how many times do you hear someone say, hey, let's just go grab a coffee and have a chat? And
Yeah.
it is so, so true. And I could just imagine at the Dirty Duck, um, just sitting around a bunch of dudes and your families and your wives and stuff, and just sitting around having a cup of coffee and really just shooting the shit.
Yeah. And that's kind of the reason I feel like duck hunting is so successful and why it's, anybody that jumps into it kind of gets hooked on it is because there's just that social element of sitting around a duck blind and sharing stories, sharing life, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, I grew up doing it. My stepdad, bonus dad, whatever you want to, however you want to claim him.
That's a
Uh,
good word. I like that
yeah,
one.
he was huge in my life, and he was the one that introduced me to duck hunting when I was 4 or 5 years old, and my life is completely different because of it. And I just
Hmm.
remember sitting in the duck blind year after year after year, and a lot of the same stories, because that's what we do. We repeat a lot of the same stories, but then we all
Of course.
created new stories, and that's what it's all about, and sharing life. And it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes that year there was hard stuff going on in your life, and and that got brought up, or people were at each other's throats, because I had brothers, and so between us I had three other brothers, and then my dad, and then his business, his hunting partner, Mr. Bierman, and so all these characters that have come along the way that make up a good duck hunting experience. And and coffee kind of embraces that too. It ties people in together. It's sitting around sharing life, sharing stories, sharing experiences, and so that's what's kind of fun about it too.
Well, Philly, we've talked about it on here a number of times, and we've said, and I'm pretty confident that I could say this, that duck hunting is the most social hunt that there is, right? Like, you can sit down with a cup of coffee and have a chat, and still, watch over your decoys and be ready for when those, as Wade Shoemaker would say, those mallards are holding pumpkins, right?
Chopping pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like deer hunting where like you're by yourself. Like, if you're part of a camp, if you're part of,
and that's fun too.
If you're part of a camp, then yeah, like you've got your lunchtime or like, the nighttime, you got some tunes going, like the deer camp that my dad's part of that I've been to a bunch of times. Like, guys that wheel out the guitars. We'll have guys from neighboring camps come over for a cocktail. Like, like there's that big social aspect, but like you're not hunting, right? Where like I look at, well, okay, well, obviously this is going to get aired Monday, but so
Yep.
2 days ago on Saturday, like Damien and I this Saturday, we're going to a buddy's place for the weekend because our late goose opens this Saturday. So again, for when the show airs 2 days ago, so our late goose opens, and you're allowed 10 birds a day.
Oh wow!
But being our late season, like the birds are only flying once a day. Like it's supposed to be cold on Saturday, so like they'll do an afternoon flight. But like we're gonna go hang out at our buddy's place. I think there's probably gonna be like half a dozen of us, and like literally we're just gonna be going around kicking corn cobs during the day, shooting shit, having coffee, telling same stupid old war stories over and over again.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and we might shoot a couple birds.
Yeah, you might.
Not why we're going.
No, not at all. But um, when you say those things, like you say the same stories over and over, and it's always, but those are the more memorable ones, right? And especially, you brought up about having a bad year, or something happened, and but that's how you remember that year, right? And just like when you were describing the beginning of Dirty Duck Coffee, right? COVID, like that was a shitty time. It was a shitty time for the world, North America, really. Like we shut down completely. I don't know why Europe and all those other countries did, but like we pretty much shut down completely. But it takes something bad to bring something good out, right? And usually that's what it is. And then those are the stories that you talk about, because in 20 years time, when you guys are still doing this, and somebody asks you for the 10 millionth time, how did Dirty Duck start, you'll still start the story off with, well, it was COVID, everybody was shut down, and we
That's how
needed
the
something to do.
podcast got started.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of great, things around the industry started during that year, because we had to be
Absolutely.
creative, or we had to find ways to kill time or whatever. So, yeah, no, a lot of great things happen even through tragic and hard times, and
Absolutely.
it's the people that persevere and get through it. And I think that's the heart of a duck hunter, the heart of outdoors people that are in the industry in general. Like we all persevere because we've all had to, be patient, because it's not always going to be a limit. It's not always going to be the biggest deer or whatever it is, a whole covey of quail, like you may find two.
Yeah.
And so it's, I think that's the heart of a hunter and an outdoors, person in general. And I think that's what's so attractive about our industry, in general.
No, I totally get it. And I think the way that, without actually walking into Dirty Duck and the whole bit, but, like, and we've talked about it on the show a number of times, and people that have listened to the show, the millions of fans, they'll say, oh, they're bringing this up again. But um, social media sort of gives, so if you're a brand new hunter and you're saying, you know what, I want to be a duck hunter, I want to chase geese, social media sort of kind of gives you a bad representation, right? Because the videos of you sitting there for 3 hours,
right,
waiting for a duck to come in, that's not getting clicks, right? So
right.
what gets the clicks is birds raining down from the sky,
Picks, all that.
pile picks and the whole bit. But when you talk about a hunter and the lifestyle and his or her way of thinking and all that stuff. Like, all you got to take the good with the bad. That's just the way it is, because for every amazing hunt that you have, there's probably five that was like, well, at least, well, I got out of bed anyways. You
Yeah.
can't shoot them from the bed. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it is, man. Like the duck hunter is I think in a class of his own for a number of reasons. Just the determination that a duck hunter has to have just to continue getting up every morning, regardless of the weather, regardless of the conditions, and 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 as much I don't deer hunt. I do a little bit of turkey, but um I don't know of any other hunter that puts the time and effort in that a duck hunter does. And I could be wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time, but it's just amazing to see. And then, for you guys to be able to, I look at things in a different way, and you could tell me I'm totally wrong, Jay, when I say this, but like, if you guys were in COVID and you were thinking about something, you were like, man, I like hunting, I like shooting birds. I wonder what we can get at that we can tie it both together. Coffee. Like, it's a brilliant idea. Like, how many, like, you don't even leave the house without your Yeti mug, right? Like,
Right.
everybody's
Yeah.
got their. I know some people like Mark, our other buddy that comes on the show. Mark doesn't drink coffee; he drinks tea. But that hot drink, and is brilliant to go after duck hunters with coffee. And then when you call it dirty duck, well, then you just
Yeah.
that's hook, line, and sinker right there.
And yeah, and I mean, we saw an avenue. No one was really doing it well,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the waterfowl space, with a kind of pizzazz to it. A recognizable icon, which is our pooping duck logo, and just a few other things that we kind of knew we could maybe catch a niche in the marketplace. And thankfully, people embraced it, and it's been fun. A lot of great people in the industry. That's what we're thankful for. Folks like you. I mean, we didn't know each other until recently, and
Yeah,
I know we could sit around and share a duck camp together and have a great time over a weekend.
yep,
And that's just kind of the nature. And I think that's what really draws people to the industry, that are looking in over the fence, that maybe getting into hunting, and they see that. They see people together. They see slapping high fives, the fun, the camp. Like, people want to be connected to other people. And I
absolutely
think
they
we
do.
really
Yep.
miss that in today's, social media society, where it's easy just to hole up in your room and just watch it from a distance, but not engage and be a part of real, like, community and other people's lives. And I think that's attractive to people too. And duck hunting allows you to do that, because you don't have to be great at it. You can pick it up as you go, and it's not trying to master a shot from 250 yards away and
Mm-hmm.
need a real big high powered gun to do it and a ton of land. And you can kind of tag along with some buddies and figure it out as you go, and stumble your way through. And then, everyone's going to help you along the way too. So I think that's another attractive part of our industry.
Yeah, and oh shit, I lost my train of thought. I had a good one too. It was gonna be like Oscar worthy too.
It'll
It
come
was
back around, man.
Yeah, it'll come back around. But
Should have wrote it down.
well, I grabbed my pin, but then Jay was saying something. I was caught up into what Jay was saying, and I totally forgot it. Which is all good. But you know, this whole that's what I was going to talk about, because you were talking about the industry, and now and by no means am I saying I'm in the industry and anything, but what I've found, and Phil can attest to this as well, in the 176 episodes of this show that we've done, the one constant thing that we've found is that this industry, this waterfowling world in North America, and it's mostly in the United States. Like Canada, we don't have the numbers like you guys do, the hunting numbers like you guys do, but it is such a small community. Like,
Yep.
everybody knows everybody. That is the thing that just absolutely blows my mind how connected, even though it's different brands,
Mm-hmm.
different pieces of the puzzle that's in that industry. Everybody is all pretty much all civil to one another. They all get along. Everyone got their own little piece of the pie. And it's just, and to go to your point, I think that's what draws people in, because it is like people are just, they're friendly, um, help out one another. It's just, I don't know, it's just a feel good thing to be at. I'm sure there's some assholes out there, but
Oh, there's always outliers,
yeah,
but across the board, you know, and they always say what there's six degrees of separation
yeah,
in like the general population, but I feel like in the hunting world it's 2 to 3,
yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Just knowing, I mean, like I said, Jeff's our connection point, and
yep,
Jeff's been so gracious to us. Has really been a huge advocate for us, and he really didn't have to, um, but he has, and we've been thankful for that friendship. But
yep.
and that's one of countless number of stories that as we built the brand over the last couple of years that we're really thankful for, and just a lot of great folks.
No, and that I think that's the most important thing in today's, uh, I don't know how to say it really, but um it the only way to succeed is through hard work. It takes hard work and dedication to succeed. But um if you think you can go about succeeding without having someone help you every once in a while, or does someone give you a push, then you're sadly mistaken. And you know, I'm uh I'm using, Dirty Duck as a way to prop my own brand up, right? Like I've got you
Sure.
to come on the show because you guys are doing great things right now. So if I have you on the show, then that gets more people listening to my show. If I have your guys' coffee at the Refuge when I'm doing at the Toronto Sportsman Show, that's going to get more people to hang around and have conversations over a cup of coffee. And if you think that you can do this in life without some help from somebody, then I think you're in for a world of hurt. That's
Yeah.
just me personally.
Well, tell me about the show, man. What's that going to look like there in March?
So so it started back in we came out of COVID. When did we come out of COVID? 2021, right? No, 2022.
Oh, you guys didn't. You guys are out of COVID. I thought you guys are still in it. The way
Yeah, fuck.
It's here. It's here to stay.
Yeah, I'm
It's
I'm
like
sure.
it's like herpes. It ain't going anywhere.
It's like I'm sure our government would love to be able to put us under lockdown again, but that's
kidding. I'm
another.
kidding.
Yeah, no, 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 totally not. So we were coming out of COVID. A friend of ours, Lori Ann Horse, and she owns a brand called the Canadian Sportswoman Society. So the Punisher brand was still very, very small, and not a lot of revenue being generated. So the idea of going to the Toronto Sportsman Show, which was expensive, it just wasn't in the cards for us. And she had some extra space in her booth, and she said, "Why don't you come down for a day and set up?" And I was like, "Awesome, a great little bit of help." So she invited us down, me, Phil, Mark, and another guy. We all went down and hung out for the day. And then I went to after the show was over, I went to the general manager of the show and I was like, there is nothing here for waterfowl hunters. There, like literally, there was nothing. Um, and he was like, "Oh, okay. So what do you think?" I said, "Well, I can bring some people in. Um, give me some real estate on the floor, and I'll bring people in." So, I think I kind of talked talked my skills up a little bit too much on the first year because we had five vendors, including me, come in on the first year, but it was a success. So then when last year's show was over and I started knocking on doors asking for this year, well, people were a lot more interested coming out of COVID, and they
Hmm.
people were back to wanting to spend money, and people wanted to get out into the trade shows again. They wanted to do the outdoor shows. So so now this year we've got 20 vendors, half of them easily from the United States, the other half from Canada. It's a great show with brands like Final Approach and Traeger grills and
Real geese,
real geese and new canoe and all these, and there's a bunch that I'm missing. But again, it's the community, Jay. So we'll all come, and I talk to all the vendors at least once every 3 weeks, and hey, let's do a dinner. Let's get everybody together for a dinner. Like that's the type of community that this is creating, right? Like so
Yeah.
now everybody wants to get together. Let's do a meet and greet the first night before everything goes crazy and everybody is all over the place. Let's do a meet and greet. Let's have a chat. Let's hang out and let's get to know one another. And so, a ton of people coming in through the doors. The Toronto Sportsman Show is massive. Like I would say, actually, I shouldn't say because I've never been to any of the big shows down the States, so I really can't compare. But it is massive. There's 40,000 people that come through the doors every year.
Well, you're
show.
Well, just to put it in perspective, Jay, like years ago, because it had a bit of a hiatus, the Toronto Sportsman Show was 11 days long.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So like you guys probably have the same thing in school, March break.
Yeah. Spring break.
It went for the whole thing.
Oh wow.
Like the show opened probably on like the Thursday. And then I think like the Friday would have been the kids' last day of school. And then you get your March break. So it went from the Thursday to the following Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's what, like 10, 11 days long is how long the Sportsman Show used to be.
So yeah, like it is a big show. It's the biggest in Canada. And the refuge is there is nobody in Canada doing anything like this. I don't know why, but nobody is. So we're the first that's doing it, and we're doing it, and then there's brands like, you know, like I can't take away from how awesome it is that I could just message you and say, "Hey Jay, this is what I'm doing. This is what the plan is for merch. What do you think?" And you're like, "Man, yeah, 100% we're in." So again, it is more like-minded people all coming together, and you're just reinforcing that community. And so now from Thursday to Sunday, it's only to 4 days now, but Thursday to Sunday, we'll have some of the biggest names in the waterfowl industry. There's still more names that need to get up to Canada and come out here, but I understand it because it's expensive, just like what we talked about before we hit the record button, Jay.
Yeah. It's more of a geography thing than it is anything logistically.
Yeah. But we got to get more people up there and just, get more people talking about hunting birds and hunting ducks. And it's just to bring the community together. And that's the idea about it. Like really Punisher Waterfowl, this brand is a podcast and a social media, a couple social media sites and a little bit of swag. We never reinvented the wheel. We're not doing anything crazy. We end every show by saying we're not experts and we'll never pretend to be experts. We're just a bunch of dudes that love hanging out and talking about hunting ducks. But I think that's what the world needs. We need more people that is, you're serious, but you're not that serious about yourself where you got to pretend to be somebody that you're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that makes sense. But, so for Phil, like Phil is working, so Phil will come down, so he'll miss Thursday and you'll be down Friday, Saturday, right, Phil?
No, I'll be Saturday.
Thursday, Saturday, right. So
opening day, and then Saturday is obviously the big day.
Yeah, Saturday is the big day, right? But
yeah,
so everybody's coming through, and yeah, it's exciting. Like it's exciting for me, because I get to sort of kind of organize everything, and now I'm trying to now I'm trying to build a booth space and all of this stuff, which is it's out of my comfort zone, right? So,
Yeah.
um, but at the same time, it's amazing because now I'm gonna have my space. And Jay, I don't know what your history is with business, but I was still serving in the military when I come up with this idea for Punisher Waterfowl, and the amount of people that told me that it would fail or wouldn't go anywhere. Um, there were a lot. So the fact that, I can hang my hat now and with the help of Phil and Mark and Ryan and my old business partner Dave Palmer, um, you know, it got to where it is right now. And now I'm talking to Jay Peterson in Kansas City, Missouri, and Jeff Coates in Berlin, Maryland, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's opened up so much for the Punisher Waterfowl brand, and I think it's showcased. I think we really do a good job, Phil. I think we really do a good job on promoting the community and just how awesome it is to be connected to this community, and that is what the refuge is all about, buddy. And that's a very long-winded
No,
explanation, I
that's
know.
awesome, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. And that's, I mean, hats off to you, because it takes guts and um a little wherewithal to get through it. Because yeah, every single time you go and do something in life, you're always going to have naysayers that doubt you, and it comes from their insecurities. It's
Yeah.
because they see other
Oh,
people.
don't kid yourself, Jay. We still have no fucking clue what we're doing half the time.
Oh shit, I don't either, man.
We really don't.
Yeah, this is true.
That's kind of the fun part about it too, though, is
Yeah,
that you don't have it figured out, and it's going to look different every day, and there's going to be new challenges along the way,
very
and
true.
so all we do, like, we're just glorified problem solvers. I mean,
Yeah,
that's really what running a business is just being a glorified problem solver.
that's a good way to look at it.
Because it's just the next one. You're just going to field the next one. You're just like a shortstop. You're always going to get ground balls.
Yeah,
You're going to pop up every once in a while, but your majority of the time you're going to be fielding ground balls. And that's the same with running businesses. And you're just fielding it and shoveling it out and dealing with it and then moving on to the next one. And but along the way, you're meeting a ton of great people. And that's what I love about the show circuit, is
yeah,
that you run into the same people that you started from the beginning, and you see them again, and then you meet new people, and then they become a friend, and then
yeah,
you see them on social media, and then they tag you, and then it's just this big fun community. And you forget about that when you don't have the events going on for a few months, and
yeah.
then it starts back up again, and it's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding. Being at NWTF last week was just awesome. Just meeting new people, but also seeing a lot of the same familiar faces and brands that we've been tied into for a few years now. And it just kind of gives you that little bit of life, that what we do is what we're doing matters. Because
Yeah,
if we're not out here doing what we do, guys, like, nobody is going to carry that flag, and then the hunting industry is going to die out. And no
absolutely.
one's going to be doing it in 30, 40, 50 years, or whatever that time span may be, if we don't continue to put this in front of other people and in front of the younger people, and getting people outside and enjoying the outdoors and God's creation. So
A very good point, because we are the pressure is on us as a hunting community as a whole. The pressure is on us. There's always somebody waiting for us to mess up or to do something wrong, just so that they can jump all over us. And I'm sure there's a group of people that would love nothing more than to have hunting completely abolished. Um, but you're 100% right in saying that I think it's our responsibility to do this, conservation and give back in whatever way that is, if that's through volunteer hours or money or whatever it is, as long as you're giving back. Because there is a 6-year-old kid or a 4-year-old kid just like yourself when you were introduced to it, Jay, that's just that just needs that spark. And once they get it, then they're hooked, and then it's a lifetime of cold, wet mornings. But
yeah.
I
And
wouldn't
being
tell,
and
but
being broke.
and
Like,
being
yeah,
broke.
being broke, I always say, it's kind of a mental illness, but hey, it is what it is, man. We wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, absolutely not. But now, you're talking about the circuit, and last week we had Brian McRae on, who's the director for Canadian policy with Delta Waterfowl, and he's telling us about the Duck Expo that's happening in Baton Rouge in July. And again, I watched that show last year from the sidelines, watching and getting all the updates from social media, and then seeing pictures of my friends hanging out with my friends from up here, hanging out with people
Right.
down there that I've met through social media. And I'm like, man, I got to get down there. Um, so I messaged Craig Mintz, who's the owner of Real Geese, and who's become a very, very good friend of mine, since we started the show. And I'm like, I'm not putting a booth in the the Duck Expo, but I want to come down to the Duck Expo. I think Real Geese should put a booth in down at the Duck Expo, and then I'll come down and I'll help you guys out. And I think they've got a booth already paid for and everything.
Nice.
So, um,
Yeah, it'll be a good show.
it'll be a great show. However, July in Louisiana, I'm not so sure how that's going to
It's
work.
inside. That's the thing. Thankful, because last year I was in St. Louis at the Dive Bomb
Yeah,
uh,
Squad
Squad
Fest.
Fest the same
Yeah.
weekend. They had it the same weekend, and I was at Squad Fest, and it was 100 degrees, and then we had a tornado come through right at the end. So it was
Oh,
kind of the Wild West, man. It was an adventure. So Buck was down at Delta,
yeah,
and I was up in St. Louis doing that because it's only about 3.5 hours from Kansas City. So,
yep.
but they changed that, so now it's different weekends. So we'll both be down there at Delta, and so we're excited. I've never been to Baton Rouge, so I'm excited to get down into that part of Louisiana. I've only been in Louisiana for about 10 minutes when I was
Okay.
going to the Mississippi show 2 years ago when
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
get to go to the Delta show, and I crossed into Louisiana for about 10 minutes, enough to be on a back road, get pulled over, and get a ticket, and then I was back in Mississippi. So that's my experience in Louisiana so far. It wasn't fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that we'll be able to meet in person, buddy.
Oh
Come
yeah, you guys are
July.
more than welcome to come hang out in the booth, and
Yeah, man. I'm trying to talk Phil into coming with me, but he done 2 trips last year, hunting trips, and he's on a short leash to be leaving the country right now. So,
Yeah,
but
having younger kids,
I know my kids are getting
yeah,
older now, so I
yeah.
can move about.
yours can feed and clothe themselves.
Yes, yeah.
How old are
Uh,
your kids?
my kids
My
are Phil's are young.
my boys are 9 and 12,
Okay, it's a fun
but
age.
the 9-year-old's 9 going on 19.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of
Yeah,
course. No, you just wait
he's
for it, buddy.
fuck like
Just
smart, like too smart for his own good too.
you
Oh
haven't
yeah.
seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's always
Jay,
the
buddy.
youngest one you got to worry about.
What's that?
It's always the youngest one you got to worry about.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're the ones. Yeah.
This my son has been put on this earth for me to pay for all my wrongdoings when I was younger.
I
I
heard
am
that.
convinced.
I
Yeah.
believe it. I believe it. Jay, buddy, I know you are an extremely busy man, and we're at around that 50-minute mark, buddy. So, I do not want to keep you any longer
Man,
because,
let's keep going, man. If you got more, I'm happy to do it.
okay, awesome. Okay, what's next? Like, I know you and Buck have vision boards somewhere in your house. What's next for Dirty Duck? What's coming? What's out there right now that you guys are working on?
Um, I mean, we're kind of one of our goals, and one of them's getting real kind of close to fruition is being more accessible in larger retail chains.
Okay.
So we've got a deal that's in the final stages. These things just take time when you're
Yeah.
dealing with, the mass, grocers and retailers and places like that. So it's I see the light. It's getting close.
Good.
Uh, and so we're hoping in first part of second quarter, we'll be in a large grocer that's more east, southeast part of the United States.
Okay.
Uh, and then kind of growing from there, seeing how how it takes into places like that.
Okay.
Continuing to, be in more outfitters places. We love for every single duck lodge to carry us.
Yeah.
We're the hunters coffee. We're not, the New York Wall Street type brands that are out there that are, backed by, hedge funds and other places
That's
like
right.
that.
Yep.
That are out there. We really are. We're roasted in Texas, so it's all American, roasted, sourced from 17 countries, small batch, and single origin beans. So it's high quality.
Yep.
You're going to pay just a little bit more than you would your other brands are out there, but also, like I said, proceeds from what we do go back to the things that we're all passionate about, which is conservation and youth and disabled hunting. So we love supporting all the different organizations that, we get to, even if it's just a little bit, we're trying to, as much as we can, we're trying to help support those, and their causes. Cause there's nothing better than, seeing people who maybe had a bad, they drew a short straw in life and had some challenges, but they're not let that stop them from going out and enjoying the outdoors. And it's fun to have a little piece of helping them to experience what we get to experience.
Yeah.
So any plans for expanding into Canada?
We're happy to get into Canada wherever we can.
It's starting with the refuge.
Yeah, I mean, we can ship there, that's for sure. I mean, we do have clients in Canada.
Yeah.
So,
Brian Rushton.
Yeah. So we've been up there since the beginning, really. I mean, we've had people from the north support us and carry us in their lodges and in their homes, and we're thankful for that.
That's
awesome. We'd love to be up there a little bit more and really just continuing to get that imprint out there, getting us in more people's hands. So we're slowly making moves, but we want to do things the right way. We don't like getting way too far ahead of ourselves, and the whole time we just wanted to be successful, growing, doing it responsibly, not taking on massive amount of debts that can crash a company, and so far it's worked.
No, that's awesome. I like you had said, everything is roasted and is roasted in Texarkana, or that's where my shipment came
Northern
from.
Texas.
Northern Texas. And you had said you're going to pay a little bit more for it. And I think today, I'm fairly confident to say this, most people today will spend the extra money for quality.
Yeah.
They will, right? Like, gone are the days where people are just I think everybody's still pinching pennies. But gone are the days where if it's $1 more, people aren't paying it. Those days are gone. If the quality is there, people are spending the money, and it's evident with you guys, because you guys are doing very, very well, and you could go to a grocery store and pull something off the shelf that'll be cheaper, but you're not going to enjoy your coffee the same, and that's just the way it is.
Well, look at this. You go to Starbucks, which I like to call $6. and you got to make the fucking coffee yourself.
Oh yeah.
They hand you a block. They hand you a cup of block. There's the stuff over there, sweetheart. Thanks for the $4. You got to go do your own fucking cream and sugar.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Yeah,
I don't get it.
Yep.
So I'm pretty proud to be able to bring the Dirty Duck into the refuge, and I can't wait. And I may dip into that package once it shows up here. But I can't wait. I can't wait to try it, and I can't wait to show it off to everybody and get more people involved and get more Canadians. Canadians are very not as a whole, but as a majority, they're very hesitant to get ordering from the States all the time, and it's because of our exchange rate, is because we get
dollar sucks.
Yeah, our dollar sucks, and we just get killed, right? So, but I think what people, once they're introduced to something, and when they see, oh, this is good, oh, so what it breaks down to like $3 more. Well, yeah, easy decision. And sometimes I think that's what you need to do is that you just got to give people the opportunity to try something or see it or touch it, feel it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it opens up their mind. Oh, okay, well, yeah, this is totally worth um the $5 extra as opposed to buying brand X off the shelf at the grocery store, right? So I'm really proud, really happy. I can't wait to show it off. And um buddy, like my booth, the booth is going to be crazy. It's going to be sick. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. And I can't wait to show it all off. And I can't wait. I'm honored. I'm honored that, you guys um wanted to help me out and bring some, because ultimately, it's both brands are being helped out here. You guys are being helped out by getting your name out. But for me, just like you said on your website, it's a catalyst to a conversation. So I'll have, with Dirty Duck being in the refuge now, I'm going to have more people hanging around, more people wanting to sit and just chat, have a coffee, and really just soak in the whole entire experience, right? So it's amazing. I really can't wait. I I really can't wait, and I just keep saying that, but it's just going to be such a great show this year. I know.
Oh yeah, it'll be huge. You'll have the smell will kind of waft around, and people. It's crazy how people say, "Hey, I smelled it from way over where," and I
Yeah.
had to come and check it out. So,
Oh, we're gonna
yeah,
crack the lid off that monster coffee thing and put a fan.
absolutely. Put a fan
off
blower
the
around.
off the
Just
coffee urn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just
yeah.
pump the fan around.
That's a good idea, actually. That is a good idea.
Saying I'm gonna be wired for sound for those 2 days that I'm there. Holy shit.
Maybe bouncing off the walls.
Phil, how much have you eaten in today? No, but I've had 6 fucking coffees. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, boys, we're at the 60-minute mark, so we'll wrap this up.
Got to keep Corey in
Yeah,
mind.
we got to keep Corey Baker
yeah.
engaged. Anything longer than 60 minutes, Corey Baker blacks out on us. So um,
Shuts her down.
shuts her down. So we'll do a quick around the table, and then we'll close her out. So Philly, to you, buddy, first.
Jay, absolute pleasure having you on. Like I know Brian just rants and raves about your guys' coffee, and I've been wanting to try it for quite some time. And obviously, I'm not going to get that privilege and honor at the show. And again, pump Damien full of as much crap as you can, because I'm going to buy like half the K cups you send up, and I'll
Yeah.
likely have to fight Brian tooth and nail. And Brian's a stout boy, so I got my money kid out for me.
Well, there is a lot of coffee coming. So
I thank fuck,
yeah,
because
there's
Brian
there's
will
a lot
clean
coming.
house.
Yeah, there's a lot coming. So, and if Brian Rushton takes all of it, I'd be pretty fucking impressed, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie.
But
But
again, thanks again, Jay. We appreciate the support and really looking forward to getting some of this in my belly.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being on, and excited to see what you guys continue to do and how it continues to grow. And we're excited to be a part of the Canadian experience with
oh,
your show.
oh, buddy, I really do appreciate it, and I know I kept saying it, that I'm honored and I'm proud and the whole bit, but um, you guys are a stand-up organization, stand-up brand. Just wanting to help out and doing things the right way and surrounding yourself. I always say surround yourself with good people and good things will come. And you guys are a testament to that. So I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. I can't thank you enough for answering every time I send you a message. You always answer me back, and I know I must get on your nerves sometimes, but
Nah,
uh,
not at all, man.
thanks so much, buddy. I can't wait. I've got a message typed up here for you. Actually, now that I'm saying that, I got a message typed up for you as we were doing the show of some stuff that I wanted to ask you that I didn't want to forget. So, um, Jay, thanks, man, and to Buck, thank you from me, Phil, Merck, all the boys. Thank you so much for what you're doing and believing in us and wanting to help us out. It really do mean a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Union 0430. We are not experts. We will never pretend to be experts. We're just a bunch of dudes that love talking about hunting ducks and being around some good people. Until next time, big love, be nice to one another.